Hi, ArcfieldWeather.com meteorologist Paul Dorian here on Thursday morning, July the 6th. Certainly, it looks like the unsettled weather pattern throughout much of the eastern half of the nation will continue at least into the early part of next week. In the mid-Atlantic region, for example, and the northeastern part of the country, there can be some scattered afternoon and evening showers and thunderstorms today. Into the day on Friday, and any shower or thunderstorm in this kind of a pattern can produce some heavy rainfall amounts. The overall wind pattern is quite light, so any kind of a shower or thunderstorm cell will be a slow mover in the mid-Atlantic region and northeastern states over the next couple of days. Again, that threat exists today, tonight, and tomorrow. And then during the upcoming weekend, there'll be a potent system coming in from the west into the east, and it looks like it could take on a negatively tilted upper level trough axis. We've discussed that scenario in previous heavy rain events, and it looks like we have that possibility in the mid-Atlantic region, northeastern part of the country late in the upcoming week, let's say Sunday night, maybe in the Monday time frame. That will bring a renewed threat of some heavy rainfall. This is the total precipitation amount as depicted by last night's 0Z run of the GFS. Again, the total rainfall amounts for the next 10 days. And some of these numbers here are pretty impressive here. The dark purple here represents as much as 5 or 6 inches of rain over the next 10 days in parts of the northeastern U.S. Anywhere you see purple, that's at least 2 inches, and it could be 2, 3, 4 inches of rain. And again, as has been the pattern in the eastern 2/3 of the nation, in an active weather pattern over the next 10 days or so. Not too surprising this time of the year. The southwestern states, not yet quite into monsoon season, will likely have little to no precipitation over the next 10 days or so. Well, let's walk through the 0Z run of the GFS, the conventional version of the GFS, the operational version, 0Z last night. First, we're looking here at 850 millibar temperature anomalies, and certainly a couple of factors going forward over the next couple of weeks that will continue the unsettled weather pattern in the eastern 2/3 of the nation. Will be intrusion of more cooler than normal air masses into the central states, and we'll see in a moment or two the 500 millibar height pattern has multiple upper level lows still diving down into the U.S. over the next 5 or 10 days or so. Here we begin the day here, Thursday, July 6th, with cooler than normal conditions dominating the scene across the central and northern plains, while both the northwest and the northeast experiencing some above normal temperatures. And as we push forward here, we'll kind of do this rather quickly, we'll see that there'll be additional cool air masses relative to normal for this time of the year dropping into the middle part of the nation. That keeps things unsettled. Certainly the battle zone region between the cooler than normal air to the north and west and warmer than normal air to the south and east can produce some strong to severe thunderstorms. This forecast map is for Saturday, and we continue to push forward here and see another intrusion of cooler than normal air into the northern U.S. early next week. This is by next Tuesday. Still some residual cooler than normal air over the mid-Atlantic region. A lot of warmer than normal conditions developing across the western states by early next week. And we'll just continue to move forward here. And this is now all the way out to next Thursday, and still some cool air intrusions relative to normal into the northern U.S., and that sets up battle zone regions right here, for example. A big difference between the very warm air to the south central states and the cooler than normal air to the north and west. This is a week from right now, so again, unsettled weather pattern continues partly as a result of this continuation of intrusions from Canada into the U.S. cooler than normal air masses. Well, in terms of the overall 500 millibar height pattern, a lot of upper level lows still showing up on the maps, even though we're well into the summer season right now. Usually they kind of push farther to the north into the jet stream area of Canada this time of the year, but we still have a lot of upper level troughs diving into the U.S., and that will keep some rainfall, that'll keep some some severe weather possibilities over the next 5 or 10 days or so. Now, let's move forward here through the next few days. And here we have, again, a lot of blue showing up on the map. Somewhat unusual for the early part of July to see upper level lows kind of all over the place here, well into the summer season. This is Friday morning. Now, let's move forward here. And here we see this system here kind of drop into the south and east across the Great Lakes. By the time we get to Sunday, this right here looks like quite an impressive system as of Sunday morning here, diving to the south and east from the Great Lakes towards the Mid-Atlantic region. There are certainly signs that yes, there can be some heavy rain in the Mid-Atlantic Northeast U.S. today, tonight, and tomorrow, even into the day on Saturday. But Sunday poses perhaps an even higher risk of a more widespread type of heavy rain event with this potent system diving south and east. And as we've often mentioned, the upper level trough axis is an important feature to follow, and in this particular case we could be setting up for what I call a negatively tilted upper level trough axis, where it extends from the low pressure center northwest to southeast, and that really enhances upward motion right in this quadrant. And here we are on Sunday morning forecast map, and this is why I believe there's a potential for some maybe a more widespread heavy rain event in the Mid-Atlantic, maybe the Northeast U.S. Sunday night, maybe into Monday kind of a time frame. Let's now move forward into time, and here we go on Sunday, and there's that system here by Sunday evening diving into the Mid-Atlantic region. Again, a potent looking system here for this time of the year. When you have an upper level feature like that, that certainly spells the possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms, maybe some heavy rain, because of the fact that it usually is indicative of colder than normal air in the upper part of the atmosphere. The sun being so strong this time of the year, it really adds to the buoyancy, the upward motion in the atmosphere when you have cool air aloft in the early part of July. So watch out again, Sunday night, maybe in the Monday time frame, right in the Mid-Atlantic, maybe the Northeast U.S. Then we'll go a little farther in time, and look at this upper level low diving into the Great Lakes by the middle of next week right here. Not exactly diving, but kind of an impact in the Great Lakes by the time we get to the end of next week. And as long as we have the continuation of upper level lows and cooler than normal air masses dropping from Canada into the U.S., we will continue to have an unsettled weather pattern, including some heavy rainfall across the eastern 2/3 of the nation, and it will prevent any kind of a longer-term sustained hot weather pattern for the eastern half of the nation. We're going to have difficulty reaching 90 degrees plus in much of the I-95 corridor over the next 5 or 10 days or so with this kind of a weather pattern. Certainly we can flirt with the 90-degree mark today and tomorrow, places like D.C., Philadelphia, New York City, but less likely on Sunday and Monday, given that upper level low sitting right over the Mid-Atlantic region, and even going into the middle of next week. No sustained heat wave with this kind of a pattern in the eastern part of the nation. Well, let's wrap up with the surface forecast map. This shows the radar echoes of the rainfall possibilities in green here. Notice the heavier rainfall is depicted on these kind of maps in yellows and oranges and reds. And we'll see some of that in the Mid-Atlantic region come late Sunday evening. Now, let's move forward. Here we have expected development of some scattered afternoon and evening thunderstorms in the Mid-Atlantic region, in the Northeast U.S. Certainly not a widespread kind of event, but the wind field is very weak in this part of the nation. What that means is showers that form, thunderstorms that form, will tend to be very slow moving, and given the high moisture content, especially in the lower part of the atmosphere, any shower or thunderstorm can result in some heavy rainfall amounts in the Mid-Atlantic, in the Northeast U.S., and that is for today, tonight, and Friday. Again, slow movement of those rain cells. Here we are overnight tonight, kind of an enhanced threat for showers and thunderstorms on Friday with a weak frontal system dropping in from the north and west. And then we get into the upcoming weekend, and here we go on Saturday. Only isolated to scattered showers and thunderstorms, but by the time we get to Sunday, we have that upper level feature now starting to maybe take on that negatively tilted trough axis, enhancing upward motion right in this part of the nation, and that very well could lead to some heavy rainfall, in this particular case depicted here by the 0Z GFS right along that I-95 corridor, but pretty much anywhere mid-Atlantic, northeast U.S., even down to the Tennessee Valley and the Carolinas. That upper level low is pretty potent indeed, and it could cause some heavy rainfall. This is the Sunday evening forecast map. We'll go a little bit farther in time. Some of that heavy rainfall moves up into New England by the time we get to next Monday. And the threat for showers and thunderstorms certainly continues into the early part of next week in much of the eastern 2/3 of the nation. Again, maybe the only area without rainfall, the southwestern states here. The monsoon season, it tends to kick into gear later in the summer, where some moisture feeds into the southwestern U.S. from the Pacific Ocean, for example, enhancing shower and thunderstorm activity. Not quite there yet, and it looks like maybe a dry weather pattern here for the next 5 or 10 days. Places like Yuma, Arizona, and San Diego, California, here in the southwestern states. So for the eastern 2/3 of the nation, unsettled weather pattern continues right into next week. That's it for now. For ArcfieldWeather.com, this has been meteorologist Paul Dorian.